Ladies and gentlemen, you have only one thought tonight, all of you, those of you who fish the fathoms of the night with poles on rooftops and long loops of wire, or those of you who, driving from some visit, finger the button on the dashboard dial until the metal trembles like a medium in a trance and tells you what is happening in France or Spain or some such country. That's by Archibald MacLeish. It's from a radio program on CBS called, back in, 1939, called Air Raid.
This is the golden era of radio.
That's right, when they did things like that on radio networks.
On big networks,
Yeah.
and everyone listened and everyone tuned in and paid attention. Radio is so different today, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about how it's changed in your time. Congratulations on 50 years with WCLV. You don't look that old, Bob.
Well, thank you.
How has it changed?
Some days I feel like it. Well, we started out playing LPs. We're playing CDs now, and actually we're playing lots and lots of music out of the computer. Everything is very digital these days, obviously.
Everything.
Yeah. And big segments of the programming are automated.
Yes.
There's nobody here running WCLV at certain times.
Right. On the weekends, I assume, in times like that.
That's right.
You do still have live jocks.
Oh, yes, we
live
do.
jockeys.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Certainly from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And then we have what we call operator-assisted programming after 6 o'clock.
But that is changing too in most radio as well, and television, where there's virtually no one there.
That's right.
In the
That's
TV
right.
station, there's no one running the cameras. They're all automated.
It happens with WVIZ, our sister television station
Right.
downstairs. Yeah.
Talk about your brothers and sisters here, because along with your 50th anniversary, the big news is that on January 1st, 2013, WCLV, which has been operating as a for-profit under the auspices of a non-profit foundation that you started a few years ago, is actually changing ownership, and it's going to be owned by a non-profit IdeaStream.
And that's IdeaStream, which also owns WCPN and WVIZ. And we will be the second radio station in the family. We're already technically owned by IdeaStream, but until through December 31st, WCLV is being operated by our original corporation, Cleveland Classical Radio.
How will this change things for the average listener? I mean, the biggest question is, because as you know, classical music on the radio around the country is an endangered species.
Well, no, it's not an endangered species. It's endangered as a classical commercial format, because there are hundreds of public radio stations that present classical music. The whole business model for classical radio is changing dramatically. 4 very big classical music radio stations in big markets have gone non-commercial. WQXR in New York, WCRB in Boston, King in Seattle, and KDFC in San Francisco. And we're just part of a trend. In the 90s, there were something like 90 commercial classical music radio stations. I counted commercial, for profit. I counted
8 or 9.
Nine the other day, as a matter of fact. So the format is very alive and very active. It's just moving over to the non-commercial model, where listeners who appreciate this kind of programming will have to ante up some.
And they'll pay for it themselves.
That's right.
Through their contributions, donations, memberships,
That's
etc.
right. We'll also have underwriting by commercial organizations and nonprofit organizations. In fact, we've been very encouraged by the number of current commercial clients that we have who are transferring over to the underwriting sphere.
Right, and you have a more robust business model on the IdeaStream side for that as well, I assume.
That's right.
Talk about the state of classical music in general, because we all know that it is challenged in terms of its demographics, in terms of its relevancy in today's
like
music
any
world.
Nonprofit performing organizations, everybody is wondering where the young people are.
Right.
And the Cleveland Orchestra, for instance, have the Fridays at 7 concerts, which seem to be doing very well in attracting the non-traditional audience. The question that has to be answered is, are those people transferring over at any time to the regular subscription series? And subscriptions are probably going to go out of business. the organizations like it because they can count on a big hunk of change at one time in the year that will help them bridge the gap. But on the other hand, single ticket prices, and rather single tickets are sales are going up dramatically.
We saw the same with the Cleveland Playhouse when they moved down here to Playhouse
That's
Square. The single ticket sales went through the roof, attracting a younger audience. So you're seeing the same kind of thing, I assume, with your listenership as well? I mean, how do you see things changing for WCLV listeners?
Well, over the years, our CUME audience, the number of people who listen to us in the course of a week, has been pretty steady, somewhere between 75,000 and 100,000 in the course of a week. My theory, my technical theory, is that at age 35, something magical happens with people who grew up listening to nothing but Nine Inch Nails. All of a sudden, they discover that there's other kinds of music, and some of them start listening to country and western,
That's right.
or they start listening to jazz,
right.
and some of them even listen to classical music.
Right.
They've been inculcated by commercials.
Yes.
That use classical music. And if they go to the Cavs game, they hear Carl Orff's Carmina Burana too.
They don't even know what it is until someone tells them or they hear it.
That there's another 50 minutes to go after,
That's pretty awesome.
After that. But the Cavs are using the Cleveland Orchestra's performance of Carmina Burana now.
That's nice. So there is hope, and I'll tell you, if anybody can bring it through for the next 50 years, Bob, it'll be you. Congratulations on 50 great years here and on your transition, and best of luck, really.
And congratulations on your 10th year.
Thank you so much. Nice talking with you again.
Same here.
Thanks so much. Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.